Morning. I'm gonna do a quick tech check to make sure I'm actually live this time and there is volume. Come on, Facebook. There we go. We are live this time. So this is take 2 of my earlier episode, or my earlier live stream, should I say, of I'm Not Good Enough. Obviously, apologies to those that watched earlier on. I managed to somehow mute myself, so the entire video it's got no sound. So I apologize. So we're gonna get into today's video for real. So let me know with a hashtag live if you're joining live, and let me know with a hashtag replay if you are catching up on the replay. So I've had a number of conversations recently down the with the language utilizing. I'm not good enough. I'm not confident. I don't have confidence. And what I want people to challenge, and I've just come off a podcast episode recording, and that's going to come out next month about these limiting beliefs. So it's either a narrative, a story that you're telling yourself, or a belief that you feel that you must be a certain way and act accordingly towards it. I want you to stop doing that, because you wouldn't speak to somebody else. Maybe that you allow yourself to speak to yourself, utilizing some of these comments. So I have had a teacher years and years ago, so 20 years ago, say I would amount to nothing. I explained on the video I did earlier that I feel nothing towards it. I don't. It's almost blasé. It holds no power over me because of what I've managed to achieve over the 2 decades since. That's his opinion. Towards what I was doing academically, it's factually correct. But be it, I spoke to somebody else on a Zoom call this week, and we actually have somebody in common that I know, and that person's a psychologist, and they were saying between the ages of 10 to 13, people are they follow a kind of sheep mentality. This is where bullying becomes a problem, because people don't want to be the outlier. So obviously for me to not do very well academically, I'm obviously an outlier, and so I don't like it. So was that person's comment on multiple occasions helpful? Not then. It was useful for the decade that obviously transpired afterwards of going into sport, because I utilized it as ammunition to motivate me when motivation wasn't there, to give me the tools to go into. I call it dark energy now, because it's going into resentment. I don't feel any resentment to that teacher. I've even done a letter that as an exercise, you set fire to it. That I probably will never relinquish it because it's useful, because it's adversity that it obviously helps to make me want to better myself as an individual. But coming back to the original point of I'm not good enough, where does that come from? Why do you believe that to be true? Why is it that you view yourself in a certain light when people may be giving you compliments for, a job well done? To look into internally, who's told me this? When? What is it contributing to the way that I feel? Because ultimately This has gone from a thought process to an emotion. And obviously emotion is not ideal because it's a loop as well, because then it feeds back into a thought process. So if you ever think where you feel sad, angry, frustrated, and you just can't get rid of it, that's because you can't let it go. So this feeling of I'm not good enough is to utilize tools such as mindfulness, meditation, awareness, slowing down, being at one with the thought. How do I want to respond and react to what's been said to me? Do I want it to become a label that describes me? Though the answer is probably no for that. So why do I allow it to engross on my thinking as I feel that I'm not good enough? And I'll link one of the comments from the previous live in the comments to, obviously, one of the people that commented on the previous live has known me since I was a teenager. And to see that, well, I'll give you the story. As in, I was quite shy, quite reserved, quite intellectual person. Once I changed schools to I'm not so shy now. I do still care how this is judged because there's still an element of self-doubt. Is it good enough? Is this probably the same thing? How is it going to be received? What are people going to think? Are they going to like it? Are they going to comment? Are they going to engage? The list is endless in terms of that. So the element of self-doubt, and I've talked about inner strength a lot this week in particular, this will galvanize you because, and it just so happens that I watched a social media piece of content by Jordan Peterson, who I either like him or you loathe him, but he was talking about what he learned from being on his tour as tapping into your DNA is an untapped potential. So if we reframe from having adverse moments, we are never going to fully reach our potential. So for me, when I hear that statement, I'm thinking, ooh, what am I truly capable of? And I did utilize, if I was, obviously I'm streaming to LinkedIn as well, if I was to be comparative to, say, the likes of, I'm going to cheat now, I'm going to change my answer, Alex Hormozi or Gary Vee, that I follow both of their content, not religiously, but I've watched a good amount of it, that I could epitomize that statement of, hey, in comparison to those two, my business is crap. It's garbage. Oh, it's never going to amount to be as good as them. It's not helpful, even if I say it out loud, because that comparison, I can't even, there's no metric to measure against. It's all emotion. There's no logic in that whatsoever. As okay, and I'd love to sit down with both of them at one point in the future to have like 10-15 minutes of time. Elon Musk is probably another one to just get on the way that how they think. And Gary Vee's pretty bit open about he doesn't think about things. He pulls the trigger and worries about the consequence after the fact. But those people are few and far between. So something that you need to take away from this video is to be able to acknowledge that thought. You've got two choices, really. Two choices. Is to view an emotion, and this is a good friend of mine and a former teammate of mine. that lost his leg in the 7/7 bombings in London. He went, "You need to treat a thought as like a bird landing on a branch. As soon as it flies on and it flies away, you treat it in exactly the same measure, which we don't do. If it's a positive emotion, yes, we will, because obviously we think it is. That good times will come around quicker than we know it. Whereas with negative ones, we don't do it. We kind of allow it to land and we strangle it, and we put all our focus on it. So that's 2. So that's point 1. The second point is to, obviously we are in this rat race, and we're taught and conditioned to be go 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 from the minute that we go to school to the day that we retire, and I might even say as far as to the day we die. That's the only time we slow down. Whereas, because we as the Western world, and those that obviously of Asian orientation might do meditation or are more aware of it than it being in popular culture now, that if you have the awareness to slow down, to see the problem, and to kind of go, okay, what do I need to do in order to not pump the brakes? So almost take the foot off the accelerator if we're talking about an automatic. So we're still moving, but we're not doing these abrupt halts every single time we have a problem. Oh, let's stop. I'm too close. Need to hit the brake. And having this awareness through mindfulness, meditation, binary beats, reading, listening to music. There's so many things that you can do to be able to just stop. Walk in nature is another one. To just stop and listen and just reflect on and enjoy life, and to kind of go, okay, I don't need to be at 100 mile an hour. I can be happy with who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm going. And ultimately, this is another one that you could say, yeah, I probably consume too much content, but this is going to be, this is from a preacher. I need to give, obviously, thanks to Sean Anderson, Dr. Sean Anderson, because he's the one that shared it, because that's why I saw it. A pastor talking about, in order to be content with people around you that are ignorant, you need to be fully comfortable with that. And and until you do, I'm not that religious, but God's going to keep testing you with these things until you do. And the same is with people. It's the same with your emotions. It's the same the way that you feel about yourself. It's the same that way that you think about it. Until you come to accept and come to terms with it, it's still going to be hard. And I'm going to end on this one. Ice-T shows my influence from my youth with hip hop music. Said that you need to embrace the good times because the bad times are just around the corner. So if you can be having to either embrace that bird landing on a tree and just letting it go, it's as quick as it's coming and as quick as it's flown away, that's how you treat it. Something like that. Or you need to have more of an awareness towards it and look into, obviously, learn from where it's come from and challenge it. So those are your 2 choices. Otherwise, it's going to consume you. And you're going to feel that you're not good enough, you're not adequate, And ultimately, that's not self-love, that's not self-care. You're going to have elements of low self-esteem. Self-confidence is going to be in the toilet. So if you can utilize those 2 skills, potentially individually or together, it's going to help you to be able to progressively move away from that. So when those feelings come up, It either bothers me, either doesn't, or it's somewhere in between. All right. It's a little bit shorter than the other one. I do apologize to those that did watch. This is second take. It's not going to be the same, but I hope you enjoyed it. I've learned a lot from it to check the audio. And I'm laughing about it. It's being genuine, as in it's a schoolboy mistake. But hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you want to delve into anything more, a bit deeper than that. Obviously, I'll link some back to previous lives I've done earlier in the week, and to other and towards Gary's podcast episode, and also to Sean Anderson's post that he shared. All right, you guys have a wonderful Thursday wherever you're at, and I'll see you again tomorrow. All right, all the best, and